Meeting to order. Okay. First item of business called pledge allegiance. Stand please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recognition.
Hi, I'd like to recognize two brand new central office employees in the central office. We have Michelle Abrizio. She is a new HR school business assistant. Michelle, do you want to say something about yourself?
So I just want to say I met some of you, and I just want to say thank you for being patient. It's a little chaotic, but we've got it. We've got it down pat. So I'm just asking you guys to be a little more patient with us. It's going well.
And then,
thank you.
Yeah, and then we have Meg Morgan. She is the clerk school committee recorder. So Meg's only been here 2 weeks. This is Meg starting her third week, and she's hit the ground running. She comes with a lot of experience, some social media management experience too, which I'm very grateful for. So do you want to say anything?
Thank you, everyone, as Michelle said, for your patience as we learn our roles. Everyone's been really, really super kind, and we've really appreciated that.
So the central office is up and running, and I'm really confident and happy that we have such great people to work with. It's been really nice.
Any other recognition? Student Advisory Council representative update.
So for our last month, we've done lots of events. We had our breast cancer awareness walk. The breast cancer awareness walk took place at the high school on October 24th from 10 to 2. We were able to raise around $1,100. I'm sorry. We had officer shop. This was held Saturday, October 30th at Middleborough High School. This event was only available for student council e-board members. We had our public relations officer, spirit coordinator, historian, and LSAC present with our advisor. Our group split up and each participated in 4 workshops and a roundtable discussion. All these activities allowed us to network, learn, and have fun with other officers across the state. Fall Festival was held on October 30th as well at Common Ground Ciderworks in North Brookfield. The event hosted a variety of vendors and organizations along with raffles, games, food, and more. Student council had their own table, which included raffles and a box for our food pantry donations. We were able to raise money for upcoming events and collect canned goods. Fall conference was held Wednesday, November 10th at Oxford High School. 15 students attended from our student council. Student leaders were offered 2 workshop opportunities on a variety of topics. Councils from across the central region of the state were given a keynote speaker who was a previous Advisor of the Year winner, Dan Dufour. Our Giving Turkey is up in the high school. The Giving Turkey is a part of our holiday community service project where we gather toys as gifts for those in need for the upcoming holiday season. Students, staff, and community members donate new and slightly used toys. This will continue through the month of December as the Giving Tree. And for upcoming events, we have Christmas in North Brookfield. Christmas in NB is a yearly event that takes place around the holiday season. This year's Christmas in NB takes place on December 18th from 12 to 2. Thank you.
Any questions for Joe?
Just want to make sure we get a copy of that for the meeting minutes.
Yeah.
If you don't mind. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to accept the school committee regular meeting minutes of September 9th and the regular meeting minutes of October 18th?
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt, but may I ask what her email is? I'm sorry.
Sure.
We can get it to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll get it after.
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for September 9th and October 18th.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public participation on agenda items. Presentation of the Student Council MASC Spring Conference. Is that you?
Yeah, Caitlin Malone, I'm sorry.
Oh, Caitlin,
Caitlin's going
okay.
to come up and give us a little presentation. Maybe not a whole presentation.
Okay, good. I do have a couple copies as well, but each year the Student Council attends the MASC Spring Conference. It's down in Hyannis. I have all the attached paperwork. We go through the Massachusetts Association of Student Councils through the MSAA. So we've done this pretty much forever. So it's like an ongoing
When I
trip.
was in high school here, you did it.
Yes, but I just wanted to
So
make
yes,
sure
forever,
to
Mr.
submit the correct paperwork and all that, so I can just have a copy here.
It's an overnight trip.
Yes, it
That's
is
why it's-
overnight.
So, to the superintendent, do we have a recommendation?
Yep, I recommend that the Student Leadership Training Council be able to attend the training Hyannis on March 8th through March 11th in 2021.
And do we have a motion from the committee
I make a motion
to approve? Do I have a second to approve?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion from the committee? All those in favor? Opposed? Great presentation.
I thought they were going to put something up on the board.
And I looked back down, my computer had shut down. I'm like, no, don't do that to me. School committee report. School choice is the only item onto that. Is there members of the committee who have something that they'd like to share?
So it came to my attention that there was a parent looking to have their child's school choice in. And I believe that in May, the school committee votes on opening seats to school choice in students based on the current enrollment for students living in district. And my understanding is the parent was denied because of the vote that happened in May. So what I'd like to do is make a motion to have the superintendent contact DESE to determine whether we can legally change the choice in numbers after the May vote. And if allowed, I'd like to leave the decision of accepting additional students into the district to the discretion of the superintendent based on changes in enrollment after the May vote.
So I have a motion on the floor to have the superintendent research the availability of changing our numbers for school choice to allow additional school choice students in, based on the fact that we've had some reductions in the student population. Is there a second on the motion?
Second that.
Is there any discussion by the rest of the committee?
I think it seems like something that we might want to evaluate at a policy level at some point, because we are making these decisions in May, and then, who knows what happens over the summer, and then the numbers are subject to change. So if it is something that can be done at a later date, maybe we put it in the policy that we revisit it at a later point.
So I think we had the same conversation maybe 2 months ago when we discussed the fact that there was a second grade student, I think, who wanted to come to the school here, and we weren't able to do that based on the number of students, the population that we had. And I had asked the then superintendent to do some research with DESE to find out if that's something that we could do. My understanding was, and I could be completely wrong, so I apologize, because I'm relying on memory, and I just told you how old I was, so, but I believe he had mentioned to us that we have to make the vote in May because of DESE numbers. So that's why I think it's good for the superintendent to do that research. But I completely agree with you, Tim, if we find out that we can make that choice at a later time, once we know what our numbers are, that would be a much better accurate reflection of what we have. So, any other comments?
I would just like to say that I totally, if we have a family that wants to come here, I think we should do anything and everything we can to try to accommodate that if we have the room.
Absolutely.
I don't think we should be tying ourselves, when that's our problem, if enrollment's an issue, I think we need to try to figure out things like this. If we can't do it, we can't do it, but I mean, we need to look into it at least, at minimum.
The only problem is that once your student's enrolled after October 1st, we don't own that student to the following year. So the funding for that student
Okay.
will not be given to us. So that becomes an issue prior to October 1st,
Gotcha.
because that's how you're allocated your funding.
But at least if we had to do the research now, we
Sure,
would know
for sure.
all the way until
Yeah.
till September of next year.
Yep, I agree. I'll be happy to do that for you.
So I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor? Is there any other discussion on school choice? Financial reports, the fiscal year 2022 budget update.
Well, I just want to bring something to your attention, that we were, from the town, and you guys have a correspondence from the town, that we, the town has asked all departments, including the school district, to reduce their budget by 3% this year. So what we had to do is I got together with my administrative team, and that 3% budget reduction came up to $189,385.29. So we sat down with the admin team, really took a look at, where we could create some savings or offset it through ESSER grants. So we were able to do that. Some of the money that we took out will have to be carried over to this year's ESSER funding for the next couple of years. So that's kind of how we allocated the funding. We didn't want to cut positions because at this point in the year, it's not something that is even feasible because students have their schedules. And to be honest with you, we're pretty lean in that respect anyhow. So we were able to address it, and I submitted our I don't want to say our allocations because we don't have to do that, but I submitted our 3% reduction to the town last Wednesday.
Any questions for the superintendent with regard to the 2020 budget? If I can have your indulgence for 1 second, I want to go back to correspondence if I could.
Sure.
I received today a notification from the chair of the Quabog Regional School District that the next regionalization meeting will happen on December 1st at 6:30 in the Quabog Innovation Center. So I want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. Superintendent's report,
So 6 o'clock?
6:30
6:30.
in the Innovation Center, yes.
Let me just,
I'll forward that off to you. Mary Jane, just
that's
so
fine, I
you
just want to grab my report here. I did submit a copy of that for everybody to take a look at, so I just wanted to let you know that we had a professional development day on November 10th. Students had a half day and staff participated in PD. Anna Robert from Student Services presented some of the newest mandates from DESE on mandated reporting from staff, which included things on homelessness and students with disabilities. So we also offered, after that, we offered ABA training, was offered to RISE and the AMP Up, the RISE and Connect program. So that was for ABAs, behavior intervention specialists, and paraprofessionals. So the staff was given training on that. And the other staff members worked on the accelerated roadmap, which focused on fostering a sense of belonging in the school districts and continually monitoring students' understanding, which were two things that the Department of Ed recommended that all districts work on as a result of the last year and a half of trying to help students fill in the gaps that they were missing. So we worked on that on November 10th, and each respective school worked on that on their own. Worked on the 3% budget request from the town, so I worked with the staff on that. I did submit the ESSER 3 funding, so we made the deadline on that. We focused on social-emotional learning, technology, professional development, and some remediation. Some of the things we're talking about perhaps is using a homework helpline, some after-school things for students and that. And we also looked at some facilities repair at the high school and their HVAC, so we're looking at that as well with some of that ESSER funding. Hopefully. We partnered with BayPath on a grant to support homelessness. We have a partnership on that, and we're approved for another $2,500 with BayPath on that. I also submitted an additional grant that the Department of Ed put out to recoup some of the summer funding from last year. So it's called Grant FC 437. So we submitted a request for proposal. Don't know if we'll get that, but I also requested some additional funding to recoup some of last year's summer work. So we'll find out probably mid next week. I think we got something in the mail, but I haven't heard anything back yet. So we also, our last admin team, we worked to create district documents instead of school documents. For example, student safety plans are going to be consistent through both schools. Looking at discipline procedures and processes. So we've done some work on that as a group. Anna has been leading the charge in that, trying to make sure everything is streamlined and follows the students through the district. So we've done that. And then I had to talk to Megan. She's, again, has some experience with social media and technology. So Megan has taken the work of updating our school website, so stay tuned for some upcoming changes to that.
Awesome.
We now have administrative reports, and Tim, there's nobody I can pass it off to today except
That's
you,
fine.
so-
We're gonna rotate a little bit, so everybody's reports are gonna be in there, so if you have any questions. So we're gonna try to rotate through every month, and Tim is the lucky winner of November.
Lucky one tonight. So I'll be brief. A few activities this week. We have our parent-teacher conference on Wednesday, 6 to 8. This year we're using a platform called PTCF Fast, which is a way for parents to register online for the 5-minute meetings with teachers. That event is an in-person event. We also have school, student, and staff pictures on Wednesday as well, so that'll be happening this Wednesday, the 17th. On Thursday evening, from 6:30 to roughly 7:30 here at the elementary school, of our winter informational meeting for our winter student athletes. So all student athletes and at least one parent or guardian are invited to come. That's mandatory for one parent or guardian to attend. We'll discuss the winter season, and then they will have breakout sessions with their coaches. So that's boys and girls basketball and cheerleading for the winter season. A couple other announcements. We did wrap up our fall season, as you know. We had girls soccer, cross country, field hockey was our lone team this year to qualify for the state tournament. This year, the MIA started a statewide tournament. Our team traveled to Linfield, where they played a very tough Linfield field hockey team. Even though they lost this game, they finished the season 12-3-4. So congratulations to all the girls and boys, and to Coach LeBlanc for her leadership this whole season. And last but not least, I do want to give a special recognition to Ms. DiPilato, who retired a week ago. After 20 years of service to Brookfield Public Schools, Nancy worked with over 1,000 students in her tenure, and she will be sorely missed. So congratulations to Ms. DiPilato on her great career and her well-deserved retirement.
Very good, thank you. Is there anything in any of the other reports that you wanted to bring our attention to other than what we've already read, or like, was there something in particular?
Yeah, I wanted to recognize the North Brookfield Elementary School who had a Veterans Day. They weren't able to have their traditional Veterans Day breakfast, but they did produce a video that will be sent out, that was sent out to the families from the students. And they also made they did a card letter writing event, so I wanted to point that out. They're also having parent-teacher conferences on November 29th through December 6th. So that's also going to be coming to the parents. Report cards did close for grade 1, for quarter 1. And Anna wanted me to let you know the Department of Student Services would like parents who are interested in joining CPAC. They are going to be having meetings the last Tuesday of every month. So any parent who's interested in joining the CPAC will be getting a phone call. We'll be sending those out. And we're still looking for a school psychologist. And I do want to welcome a brand new staff member. We have an elementary nurse, Jenna Ventulo. She is now the new elementary school nurse for Shirley McAfee, retired last Thursday. After, I think she was here for 4 years. So she was here for 4 years, and Jenna started on November 8th. So those are the things.
Rich, how long?
One?
I'm sorry?
One?
She was here for a year?
Yes,
Oh, 1 year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought she was 4 years, okay.
if not less.
said today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great, so, sorry, my mistake, I do apologize. I
That's
don't know
okay.
why I was thinking 4 years, so, yeah, so she left this year. And then, really, that's about all, I had the same thing in here twice. And then, that's about it. I don't have anything else of,
Did any of the committee members have any questions or concerns about the reports from the administration? Okay. Under old business, we have an updated MOA fiscal year 21-22, which we have not yet spoken about in executive sessions. We have to go into executive session first and have that conversation. So even though it's on the agenda, there's really nothing that we can discuss at this moment. So moving on, unless there's any other old agenda that's on the old business that's on the agenda. Is there anything on the new business?
I wouldn't mind just making a comment. So last spring at the town vote, a or when we voted to fund the school, the town voted to fund the school with money that the town essentially didn't have, which resulted in I think the email that Mary Jane got regarding having to cut money later on that was already allocated for the school year. So I think that it's just worth mentioning that I think when we come time to developing a budget, I think one of the big complaints that I heard was that last time that, money was being asked for the budget without any sort of new plan for increasing enrollment, and I just think that it's important for us to try to focus on bringing new ideas to the schools so that when it comes time to making that vote again, hopefully we can present some new ideas on how we're going to attract more students for next year. So, obviously the more students, the more money that gets brought in from the Chapter 70 funding, and I think that's important to kind of focus on so that we don't continue to have the issue every year. And I know that we've all kind of had ideas and have talked about random things, but I just think it's worth mentioning, and I think that should be a priority as that new budget gets developed this year, so we can try to bring more students into the town or the district.
Is there anything else under new business?
No?
I will accept the motion to go into executive session. My understanding is that there is a possibility we may be coming out of executive session with something to report. So today will not be a meeting that we will go to executive session and not come back. But obviously, we always come back to adjourn the regular session, but there may be information to share at that moment. I do not know, because I've not had a chance to, we haven't had a chance to go into executive session. So I'll take a motion to go into executive session with the possibility to come back to open session.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session with the possibility of coming back to open session if needed.
And a second.
I'll second it.
So this is a roll call vote. Mr. Kenneth?
Yes?
Mr. Grant?
Yes.
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 I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Ekman, yes.
Yeah, sorry. I do that all the time, I apologize. Okay, so we're going into executive session, and we will come back to open session when we're done with the executive session. Thank you all very much for your participation. This is the executive session, is there a motion? Mr. Cameron?
I move to accept the MOA for the 2021-2022 school year as negotiated with the teachers union.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much. If you want to send that down, we'll sign that in the warrants as well.
Yep.